Hi, this radio is a Zygo x6100. This is 20QJ. Let me show you how you can easily wideband this radio. Now it's up to you if you do it. I'm just showing you that it can be done, and once I've done the mod I'll be reverting it back to factory defaults. So first of all we need to turn the radio on. And I'm not responsible if you get caught using a modified radio. You might want to do this if you want to use it on, say, 60 metres. I don't think it transmits on 60 metres out of the box there if you're a full licensed ham. So you need to turn the radio on. Let's give it a few seconds to boot. And there we go. Now we need to set up the Wi-Fi because we're going to be logging in via Wi-Fi. So I press on System Settings. I'm going to use the MFK, the multifunction key. I'm going to go across to WLAN. Click it. It's now going to scan for the networks. And you should see my networks coming up on the screen there. So my router is just here. So now I'm going to use config. I'm going to go down. I'm going to give it the password by using edit, and I'm going to enter in my password. Okay, so I've entered in the password. Now I'm going to press on connect. It should connect to my broadband. There we go. It says at the top there, connected, if you can see that. But at the moment it's giving me an IP address of 192.168.3.21. And my gateway is 192.168.3.1, which is completely wrong. So I press on disconnect. And we're going to press on edit. And we're going to give it an IP address of 1.21. So we're going to use the dial, rotate it through. And we go to enter. Press edit. Let's go down again. Connect. Config. And the gateway for my router is 192.168.1.254. So again, it's put it as 3.1. So there we go. We just entered in the IP address and gateway address of the router. Press edit, and we're now going to press on connect. It should connect, given this the IP addresses that we've set up. And there we go. We are now connected to the broadband with an IP address of 192.168.1.21 and a gateway. So what you use to log into the router is 192.168.1.254. Let's go over to the computer, log into this radio, and then we'll show you how to do the wideband mod. Right, so we're on the computer. You need to use an FTP program. So I'm going to be using a program called FileZilla. You can use anything you want to log into. It's whatever program you're comfortable with. So on a Mac you can use CyberDuck, and on the Linux box I'm going to be using FileZilla. So menu, FileZilla. And we go full screen this one. So the host, you want to type in the IP address for the radio. So mine was 192.168.1.21. The username is root. And password is 123. And port number is 22. Going to press on quick connect. And it's going to say all this warning here, key mismatch. I'm just going to press OK. And there we go. We're into the radio. So these are the files on the radio. Now be careful what you do here. You could potentially kill the radio, but if you do muck around with it and change all things, I'm sure you'll be able to get it back by reflashing it. So we're going to go down to etc. And we're going to go down to XG radio. And there's the XG radio config. If I right click, and we're going to go download. And I'm going to overwrite it. There we go. So I've done this before just to play about with it. And we go down, and there is our config xradio.conf, right click, and we're going to open with text editor. And here it says mods full band TX, and we're going to say enable instead of disable. And we're just going to save it. There we go, it's now saved. Now what we need to do now is upload that file back to the radio. So using this program here, we can then go down, look for the config on the radio, that one there. We should be able to right click and go upload. There we go. And we're going to go overwrite, and there we go, it's now transferred it to the radio. So what we do, we go back on the radio and have a look what it's done. Okay, so we're back on the radio. It's where it was before we left to go on the computer. All we need to do now is just turn the radio off. And then we'll turn the radio back on again. We should see the Zygo screen appear. There we are. And we'll just wait for the radio to boot. And there we go. You'll see in the corner here, let me go a bit closer. You'll see there, we've now got an icon saying full TX. Hope it's coming out. And you can now transmit on, say, 5 meters. You can even do 27305. But why would you spend £600 on the radio just to transmit on a CB radio frequency? You might just get a dedicated radio for that. There you go. That's how easy it is to modify this radio. Now what I'll do after the video, I'll plug in my SD card and I'm going to reflash it to get rid of the mod. Now, you can either get rid of the mod by reflashing it, or you can get rid of the mod just by uploading the file and do full TX disable and then giving the radio a reboot. So there we go, the Zygo x6100, and we've done the wideband mod. Now I'm not responsible if you get caught transmitting on a modified radio. It's up to you to do it. I've just done it so I can show you that it can be done and how simple it can be done. It will transmit on 27 megs, but I don't see the point of spending £600 on a radio just to transmit on CB frequencies. And it also will transmit, I think, 5 megs, what's that, 60 meters? Anyhow, if you found the video some use, know what to do, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, the other one seems to work too. But this video has been an educational video to show you that it can be done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. This is 2E0IQJ73 for now.